Hi everyone, welcome to another GearBlocks Dev Diary. First of all, I'd like to apologise for the lack of these update videos recently. I'm still hard at work on the full version of the game, but I'm not quite ready to show that yet. I have just released a demo update, however, so today I thought I'd talk about a few of the changes in the demo. So first, let's have a look at the World Tool UI. It's now possible to select multiple constructions at once and perform operations on them together. So for example, I can select these two and then freeze and unfreeze them together. You'll note that some of the operations are not available when multiple constructions are selected because they're not valid in this case. But if I deselect this one, so I just have one selected, I can now do any of the operations. For example, I can select this one, like that. It's now possible to select all of the constructions at once with just one click by pressing this button here. So I can select all of them, and then I can freeze and unfreeze all of them together, for example. And then this button here, I can deselect them. This can be quite useful if you want to, say, select all the constructions of the world and then just delete them together to clean everything up. Okay, I've just switched to the previous version of the demo to show you a bit of a problem. So here we have an axle that's attached with rotating attachments between these two blocks here. Now watch what happens when I delete one of these attachments. If I then unfreeze the construction, it starts jumping around like crazy and glitching out. So if I can grab this thing again, come here. What's happened is that the physics now considers the axle and the block here to be interpenetrating, and the collision is trying to force the two parts away from each other. Let's jump back to the new demo and I'll show you how I resolve this problem. Right, here we are back in the new demo with the same situation. Let's see what happens when we delete this attachment. This new indicator here shows that these two parts are interpenetrating, and if we try and unfreeze the construction, we can't. The only way to resolve this situation is to delete one or more attachments in the construction so that these two parts are no longer part of the same construction. So for example, if I delete this one here, I can now unfreeze the two now separate constructions. This will prevent it being possible to create a situation where two parts of within a construction are interpenetrating and causing the physics to glitch out like we saw before. Right, I've just switched back to the previous demo again to show another problem I've been working on. So we're riding in the tractor here, and if I do a sharp turn like this, you can hear there's a lot of collision sounds, and these are actually coming from the wheel and these parts here because they're very close to each other and almost touching. And what's happening is that we're getting collision impacts between these two parts that are generating collision sounds. Let's jump back to the new demo and I'll talk about what I've been working on. Okay, here we are back in the new demo. So I've now completely re-implemented the collision tracking system to be a lot more efficient than the old one, and also fix a lot of these annoying collision sound problems. So for example, if we do the same thing again here, you can hear that we don't get those annoying impact sounds again. But besides that, I've also added some more functionality to this system. So let me jump out here and I'll show you. The collision impact sounds of parts is now varied based on their mass. So hopefully you can hear the sound of the impact change based on the mass of the part as I change it. I've also added sliding sound effects, so as parts slide across one another or across the ground, like that, you can hear, hopefully. You get a sliding sound effect as well. Now these particular sounds are just placeholders for now, but they give you a good idea, I think, of how the system works. Besides all the things I've talked about so far, I've also made some changes to the servo motor to increase the maximum angle from, I think it was plus and minus 90 degrees before, now it's plus and minus 180 degrees, and you can reduce the speed down to all the way down to 1 RPM, which makes it a lot more usable, I think. There's other changes like you can now change spring dampers to be able to be have a rotary slider bearing. So for example, I'll just show that quickly. So before it used to be you could just have a linear bearing like this, but now you can switch it to a linear rotary bearing as well, so that the upper and lower parts can move, can rotate independently. This could be useful for certain kinds of suspension. Okay, well that's it. Thanks for watching. Please check out the new demo build. The link is in this video's description, and I'll see you next time.